Today is May 26th, 2026, and I wasn't able to upload a video yesterday because I was really focused on my religion. For those who don't know, it is currently like the first 10 days of Silhouch, and those are very important days for us religiously speaking. And today is the day of Arafah, and I was fasting for the previous 2 days. But that leads me into what I wanted to talk about today. Being content with being alone. Sometimes you really just have to step back from everything, from all the worldly matters, and you just have to be alone with yourself, your thoughts. And why? Why do we have to be alone? It's kind of like a reset. When you're alone with your thoughts, no distractions. You're not watching Netflix, you're not listening to music, you're not doing anything. You're just with your thoughts. When you do that, it really resets your whole body and mind. And I say this because we're constantly filled with distractions, whether that's with shows, whether that's with Instagram, whether that's with reels or YouTube shorts or anything like that. And just taking a moment to step back and just controlling your desires and just thinking about everything that's going on in your life, it really helps you set your focus better. And one thing that I really wanted to do was deactivate Instagram. And I say this because obviously it's such a distraction. You keep scrolling, doom scrolling. But then I was like, if I'm disabling something because I can't control myself to limit myself, then am I really eradicating the problem, or am I just providing a temporary solution to a permanent problem? And so what I chose to do instead is just let myself have Instagram. Like I barely used it because I had that self-control. I told myself, no, I'm not gonna use it, so I didn't use it. I did obviously use it to talk to people and stuff, but I didn't actually use it. Same with Netflix. I had access to Netflix, I had access to my laptop, I had access to everything, and yet I didn't use anything. And that's because you just have to learn to let your desires not take control of you. That's literally what this world is. It's a test, it's a distraction. And if you can't control your desires, you're done, buddy. You're done. And people ask you, like, how do you control your desires? How do you control your nafs? Nafs is the actual word. And honestly speaking, you just do it. You just control it. There's no hack to it. You just have to have discipline. Discipline. What is it that you love? Is it the akhirah? Is it the day of, is it the hereafter, or is it this world? Which one is it? So you have to really choose that for yourself. And recently I've been very much so tested with such matters where I have to choose between this dunya, between this world, or the hereafter, and I constantly have been choosing the hereafter. But obviously it's a struggle. Like sometimes you do eventually end up choosing the world, and you do that by following your desires, the nafs. And so that's why I tell you, just take a moment to just step back and just think and isolate yourself and be content with that, and don't let anything distract you, and just reevaluate your life choices and where you're headed. And it's really going to help you understand where your priorities are, or where they should be, and what are you doing wrong in your life, if there is anything. I mean, I personally do believe that we can always improve no matter what, so it's always a good thing to just step back. And especially if you're a religious person, it's even better for you to do that, like isolating yourself religiously as well, and just having conversations with God and just focusing more on God instead of the worldly matters. It really puts into perspective everything else. And besides that, what else? It also, honestly speaking, one thing that I learned with being content with being alone is the amount of people that stop reaching out to you. And it's because you stop reaching out first, so they don't ever reach out. and you're gonna lose a lot of friendships if you choose that route. So you have to know what you're getting yourself into. When you choose to isolate yourself, when you choose to stop putting in as much effort, you have to be ready to let go of people as well, because some people are only there in your life because you constantly keep contact with them, and not the other way around. One-sided friendships. And while it does hurt, at the end of the day, those friendships were meaningless in a way that it was more like waste of time rather than meaningless, because I feel like every friendship teaches you something. Anything teaches you something. Um but you have to be content with it, because trust me, like I said it in a previous video as well, if you think you're losing somebody that was meant for you, trust me, you're not losing them, unless you were genuinely the problem. If you were the problem and you lost them, then that's on you. I don't know what to say about that, because I mean, that's just the way it is. And the only thing that you can do is learn to forgive yourself, ask God for forgiveness, and ask the person for forgiveness, and then move on. Understand that it wasn't meant to be. But at the end of the day, it still goes to show that it still wasn't meant to be, because if it was meant to be, you would have been that person for them, you know. But other than that, that's mainly what I wanted to talk about. Just take a few days for yourself. Try to limit all your distractions as much as you can. And yeah, to be fair, I was at work as well, but even at work I tried to limit my use of phone, and I was just remembering God over and over again whenever I could. And that really, really helps you put everything in perspective, and it's going to I wouldn't say it's going to change your world or anything, but it's really just going to make you understand where you are in your relationship with God, and in your other relationships as well. So yeah, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.